What is going on, everybody? Back with another video. Today I'll be talking about the Counterpoint 1 by Cold Steel Knives. I was waiting patiently for this knife to be finally released. Originally I wanted to get the Counterpoint 2, but upon looking at the size, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to wait for the larger knife, just because I like larger knives in general. This is essentially a folding boot knife. So this knife for me is really awesome. I've been carrying this a couple times a week, just kind of rotating it into my EDC, and it's a joy to carry. Actually, it's very easy to slip in and out of the pocket. And the first thing I'm going to talk about here is probably the handle ergonomics. I got the box here, Cold Steel box. I'm going to take that out of the way. The handle ergonomics are exceptional for something, for such a streamlined, straight knife. It managed working a little bit of a thumb ramp. It has like a nice finger choil, and even has a flare on the back of the knife here on the pommel, and you can actually even use this as an impact tool if you needed to, or if you need to hold back on the knife to extend your grip a little bit. It's still got enough flare here to keep your hands seated on the knife firmly. Now there is no jimping anywhere on here, so the knife is going to be rather smooth. And I think that's one of the small drawbacks of the fact that these are Grivory handles, and they don't really have the same texture as the G10 as I have here. This is the American Lawman, and the grip on the American Lawman really outshines the Counterpoint 1 immensely. There's like no comparison whatsoever. Very, very cool. The handle here has these milled out holes here, which really really lightens the knife up, I'm assuming. So when you have the blade closed here, you can see the blade right through the holes. Now it does have a reversible pocket clip. Now for once, they finally did it in a way where, like for example on my Recon 1 Tonto here, when you take the pocket clip off, you cannot reverse it to the other side, even though there's a spot for it. On the Recon 1, they had to include a separate left-hand carry clip. So now on the Counterpoint 1, they didn't have to do that because they made the clip pretty much ambidextrous. When you flip it to the other side, it'll just fit right into the slot here that they provided for you. So now this is a tip-up left and right-hand carry only. There's no option for tip-down. As you can see, it's put together by Torx screws. Very easy to take apart. And in fact, I did take this knife apart for cleaning and lubrication. And man, I have to say, this Triad lock is just one of the most awesome locks I've seen. It's really thick, it's really heavy, and the way it locks up, it's just very solid. There's no other way of describing it. And it's the stop pin and everything. It's just basically everything puts pressure on each other to keep the knife locked up in a solid position. There's no blade play whatsoever on this knife at all. It has a very, very good lockup sound. So now the other thing I noticed is a Triad lock on this one in particular is a little bit different than, for example, my American Lawman or even my Recon 1. On the Recon 1 and the American Lawman, the lock here has more travel when you push it down, and it also, but it's also a little bit easier to disengage. It's a lot smoother actually. On the Counterpoint 1, I have no clue whether it's due to the Grivory handles pushing up against the metal here, but listen to this. You hear that? It's like a loud click before it actually wants to disengage. So it's actually harder to disengage this lock, in my opinion. But it has a less travel when you push down. So now on the blade itself, it features an actual dual thumb studs. Now these thumb studs are not really quite the same as on the other two knives here, the American Lawman and the Recon Tonto, which I have here. And the fact that you can tell they made both these other knives, these two here, kind of biased toward the right hand. So if you wanted a left-hand knife, you can technically still use this little small screw covering to open the knife, But if you really wanted the full benefit, you'd have to take this out, switch this larger side to the left-hand side, and then screw it back into the blade. It itself's got this kind of like a wider bayonet style look to it, with a little half grind here, and a full straight grind through the middle. So the blade itself is not as thin, you know, as a profile as say the Counterpoint 2. For some reason they made this a lot wider. It'd been kind of neat if they made this more of a dagger, like it thins all the way to the top. It would have been a really awesome looking knife. But still, I'm very happy with it. So now the knife is very adequately sharp. The Counterpoint 1 also includes a generous sized lanyard hold. Actually, you can see here it actually fits 550 paracord with the inner strands intact, and it's you know, there's no drag either. It just fits right through there very smoothly. Overall, I think Cold Steel has really hit the ball out of the park with the design of the Counterpoint 1. I mean, there's almost nothing that I do not like about this knife. It features great handle ergonomics, a sharp blade, and the awesome Triad lock, which for me personally is the pinnacle in lockback technology. There are a couple aspects that may detract a few of you from liking this knife. For one, it is made overseas for those for which it matters. And number two, it has Grivory handles, which we can probably all agree that feels a lot cheaper than G10. But let's not forget that being made overseas and having Grivory handles really keeps the price low. And for that low price, you get a full-size folding knife with a very low weight. So I think Cold Steel has really done a great job, and my hat's off to them. So I highly recommend this knife. I'm really enjoying using this. And pretty much that's all for me for now. So I want to say take care, have a great day, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.